guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you some tree peonies that I was planting in my garden. It's a beautiful spring day here in Toronto and I'm so excited to add these beauties to my garden. I have actually never grown tree peonies, so I was really excited to get my hands on some of these and add them to my front garden, and that's what I'm planning to do. Tree peonies are almost like it's a different kind of a peony. It's almost like basically it has these woody stems, if you can see clearly. They have these woody stems and they're almost like a shrub-like peony form as compared to herbaceous peony that dies back completely to the ground. These actually have these woody stems that stay as structures in the garden, and then they leaf out from those old wood stems. So basically they bloom on the old wood, so you cannot cut them back to the ground. They have to kind of stay with those woody stems as the structure from last year, and then they start blooming on that old wood. And as you can see, they've started to leaf out from this this woody stem that is attached to the peony. I don't know if you can see it clearly. So this is what it looks like. And this one here, I actually haven't planted it yet. I've had them for about a couple of weeks and they were indoors, and I've been hardening them a little bit outside, but they are very cold hardy, so they can go in the ground right away. So that's what I'm planning to do today, is plant these in my garden. But before I do that, I wanted to share with you the varieties that I have ordered. So this one here is there is a little tag here that tells me what this is. So this is a hana-kisoi tree peony. So this one is a beautiful pink colored tree peony with a yellowish center, and it doesn't have a lot of information on the tag. The only thing is it does like a lot of sun. So but you know, if you plant it in an area where it's protected a bit from the wind, that would be good, and maybe even a little filtered sun would not hurt the peony. And the main thing is that the peony should be planted really deep. So unlike the herbaceous peonies which need to be planted shallow, tree peonies are to be planted quite deep. As you can see, this part of the peony is completely below the soil. So the soil is pretty much above where this joint is on the peony. So you have to plant it quite deep. So as you can see on this peony, this is where the joint is. So when I would be planting it, I would actually bury the peony at least up to this point where the tag is. So that's what you would be doing when you're planting this peony, and I will show you as I am planting them how I'm planting these. But I wanted to share with you the varieties that I am planting today. So this one is the actually it tells you on here it is a Suffriticosa pink. So that's the variety, and it's a beautiful pink peony. I'm not too sure if it's going to flower this season or not, but I will get them in the ground. In terms of size, they can get up to 5 feet tall, but it's going to take a long time for them to get there. So don't worry too much about the size right away, because it's going to take them a while. But pick a location where they can stay, because they're not gonna like being moved. So make sure you select a location where they can stay and you don't have to move them. And they will bloom for about 2 or 3 weeks, and after that you will be left with this beautiful foliage in your garden, which is, I think, really pretty with the red stems. So it adds interest in the garden, and then they are early bloomers, so they will bloom sometime in May, and then other plants in your garden can then take over. But when they bloom, they are beautiful. I've seen some in my neighborhood bloom, and they are just very stunning plants. So the next one that I am planting is this one. This is the High Noon Tree Peony. So this one is a beautiful yellow color. I am super excited. I think the picture here is significantly darker than what this peony will actually be. I've seen this one bloom and it's more of a lemony yellow, but we'll see when this blooms what it does. But it has a beautiful, almost like a dark reddish center, which is very attractive. And this one is also pretty healthy, and it's leafing out quite a bit, and it has a couple of branches that are leafing out. And from what I know, that this is also a very vigorous variety, and I'm excited about this yellow color. And the third one that I have, it's kind of doing a bit of a slow start here. As you can see, it has two branches starting to now slowly leaf out. This one is a Shima Nishiki. So this one has a beautiful, almost red and white flower, which is gorgeous. It basically reminds me of Canada and it's just beautiful. I love how this looks and the colors on it, and I love the yellow center in it as well. So this is the Shima Nishiki. Again, this one is the third tree peony that I will be planting. So these are the three colors that I have. Aren't they so gorgeous? Like, I love the three colors of these peonies. They are beautiful. Here they are. And they are just simply gorgeous. So I'm excited to add them to my front garden, and I will be planting them today. It's a nice sunny day and it's not so cold, but like I said, they are fine. It's better to get them in the ground as soon as possible. I was just waiting because our weather was going up and down quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, and it was hard to get out here and do a lot of work. But this week it's going to be gorgeous, and I want to get them in the ground and make sure they're kept watered. And like I said, you need to plant them really deep, and I will take you along as I'm planting them. So really beautiful tree peonies. This one is kind of taking off right now, so I want to get it in the ground, and I'll take you along as I plant these. Here it is. I wanted to show you, I've dug a hole that's pretty deep, and once I get this peony out of this pot, I could bury it up to this point. So this is where I would bury it up to, so have at least all of this in the ground. So I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper, and as you can see, because I had created this no dig bed, I do have some pieces of cardboard, and I'm not too worried about them. They'll disintegrate. The soil is pretty healthy. I had already added a lot of manure to it, so I'm not going to add anything else in terms of amendments. Going to just get this peony in the ground, and I'm going to let it adjust to the native soil. So that's the plan. I'm going to get this one in the ground, and I'll show you what this looks like once I have it out of the pot and I'm ready to backfill. Here it is. I pulled this peony out of the pot, and literally all the soil that it was sitting in just fell apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it in the hole here. As you can see, it's being planted quite deep, so a lot of it is going to get buried inside here, and I'm going to backfill with the soil that was in the pot, the medium that was in the pot, as well as some of my native soil. So this is what the peony looks like right now, and I think the hole is a little too deep, so I'm going to have to backfill a bit and then put this peony in the ground, and I'll show you once I place it in position. So here it is. I think this is a good position for the peony. The roots are sitting comfortably in the soil, and it is quite deep, so I am going to start to backfill this hole and make sure that this is kind of planted nice and deep and stable. So that's what I'm going to start to do, and I'll show you when it's all done. Here it is. The High Noon Peony is planted, and as you can see, it's quite a bit below the soil, and make sure you plant them deep. These are tree peonies, and unlike the herbaceous peonies, they like being planted deep. And I'm just giving it a nice soak of water so that it can settle in its new location. It's also supposed to rain a lot over the next couple of days, so I think it will get a lot of rain, but just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't dry out, and keep it moistened and well watered, and it should really like start leafing out and do its thing in a couple of weeks. So I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm excited to get this one in the ground, and now I'm gonna work on the other one the pink one and get that one in the ground next. So here it is. I have planted the second tree peony. This is the pink one, and it is drooping a little bit. I think it's because it's in a bit of a shock. When I took it out of the container, the roots were kind of developed, but then they were also a little bit, I think, broken. So I'm hoping that this one is going to perk back to life in a day or two, and I will keep it well watered and take care of it. But for now it's in the ground, and I think I like where I've placed it. Like I said, this is going to take its time to grow. It's gonna be slow. So yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on this one and keep it watered, and I'm hoping that it will be okay in the spot and it'll survive the transplant. But that's what I wanted to show you, and I'll also show you where I planted the third one. So this is the Shima Nishiki. So this one was really starting to leaf out, so I've kind of planted it in between these geraniums. So I made a little space in there for it, and for now it's looking okay in that spot. Also, we'll keep an eye and see how this one does in this spot. You are to plant these quite deep, so that's what I've done, and I'm hoping that it will start to leaf out and produce new shoots soon, and it will survive this transplant. I haven't added any fertilizer to it, and I've really not added anything to amend the soil. The soil is pretty healthy, so I'm just going to let it be in the native soil and slowly settle in. And I've cleared a bunch of this geranium around it, and it is ultimately going to grow back in there, but it's very low, so I think it'll be okay in there because this should get taller eventually and fill in that space. So yeah, so that's it. I'm done planting my tree peonies. I will also show you the High Noon, the yellow one, what it looks like, and what that looks like right now. And this one is quite a bit perkier. It hasn't really suffered any shock, so I think this one might be okay. We'll keep an eye on it tomorrow, and hopefully the nighttime cooler temperatures will help, and I will keep them hydrated. It's also supposed to rain later in the week, so that should also help. And so I'm also planning to plant some of my roses. So after I'm done planting everything, I will top dress it with some fertilizer, so that should also help it. So that's it. I just wanted to show you what these are looking like, and I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. If you have tree peonies, and let me know in comments below which varieties you have, and you know, what do you love about them? I would love to hear from you. And if you've liked this video and found this helpful, and you are going to maybe perhaps plant a tree peony this season, I hope you find this helpful. These varieties are pretty common to find. They're not that difficult. So High Noon is a very well-known one. It's usually broadly available, and the Shima Nishiki is also quite available, and the pink one as well. So I think you know, you should be able to find these easily in your garden centers, and they can range in price from $30 to $60, so depending on where you are buying them from. And I hope you know, you are able to buy one and try them in your garden. I'm excited to try this in my garden because this is a plant I've never tried before, so it's very exciting. And that's you know, why I wanted to bring you along and share these plants with you. And I will share progress on these, how they do, how they adapt, and if they do bloom this season or not. I'm not sure if they will, and they're still very, very small, so they're going to take their time to mature and grow, and that's okay. That's the part of the joy of watching things grow, and I'm willing to be patient with that. So with that, if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button and follow my journey as a gardener, and it would be so nice to have you as part of my community. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day wherever you're joining me from, and I will share progress on these peonies as they grow throughout the season.